What is up, guys? Today's Breach video is going over my Reaper build. I'm showing a little bit of the gameplay first, and I'm going to go over the abilities while I'm playing, and then after the match I'll go over the gems and talents that I use. So basically the Reaper is a debuff tank. They're able to lower the damage of the enemy by using So you can see the purple stacks on the enemy. That means they're doing less damage. It can stack up to 4 times. The initial stack is 15%, and each stack after that is 5%. So you can get a total of 15 or 30% lower damage on your target. Best used for elites and bosses, but yeah. Now, Reap, what that does is it takes the so targets or debuffs off, and then it heals you and does damage to the people. As you can see right there, I just got 693. I'm also using the Phylactery and Haunting Wraiths skills. Phylactery, which I won't use in here, but it places a Phylactery on the ground, and it makes you immune to damage as long as it's up. However, any damage done to the Phylactery is then reflected in your health. So as long as your Phylactery is taking damage, you will also take damage. And if it's destroyed, you'll be left at 1 HP. So you won't die, but you know you'll be at low health. The Haunting Wraith ability is just it's an okay damage ability, but it gives a 400 damage shield to all allies, including yourself. So it's a pretty good defensive move. And then of course the default Reaper ultimate, which is probably one of the best ultimates in the game, and especially of the entire class or school, that is, Shadow School, because it gives you 60% haste. I believe it's 60%. I'll check again after the match. And it makes you completely immune for 15 seconds. So I'm going to place this Phylactery down. The general idea is to put your Phylactery down in a hard to reach place, but you can also use it as a decoy because most enemies will come for it. So you put the Phylactery down. It's sort of a way to taunt as the Reaper since you can't normally taunt. And then have them come to it. And also if you have your ultimate up like I do right here, you can use that so you're not going to take any damage. And you just see they're just all right here. It's perfect. Especially for this particular one, because this one we have to get the people together and gather up the materials. So that's a perfect combo, especially if you have your ultimate ready. It's got 20 right there. And I can debuff or buff my team with that. And yeah, I'm not taking any damage from normal hits, only when they take on my Phylactery. And then I can also heal as long as there's strong targets that survive. Put so on them, and then heal up for however much damage. And just because he's about to die, Grim Reaper for him. It's just 15 seconds of immortality is amazing. Oh, he ran away. Doesn't matter. So yeah, as you can see, it's gonna be pretty hard to die. I died that one time because I got stun locked and I couldn't use my heal. And not bad damage either. It wasn't the best game that I had, and I wasn't 100%, but you get the idea of how it should be played and how strong this particular build for the Reaper can be. And another thing that makes it really strong is the talents that I picked and the gems. So I focus mostly on ultimate charge and survivability. I make sure my ultimate accrual rate is at least at the max of 50%. So I'll show you that real quick. There also weren't that many good talents to choose from, at least for this particular build, but there are a couple. So the primary one I'm using, which also it doesn't matter, like the talents you'll get vary. So like this talent could be on another, a secondary piece or whatever. But I'll just go over the actual talents themselves. The Haunting Wraith, each enemy hit by Haunting Wraith will reduce its cooldown by zero point 0.5 seconds. That's really good because normally has a 15-second cooldown, and it's really nice. I mostly like it because of the shield. It does damage, but it's great to get that 400 damage shield, which adds up. And if you get that cooldown lower, yeah, you can keep getting a 400 shield pretty frequently. So for this tanky build of the Reaper, I think that's a perfect skill and a perfect talent. This one I go with Reap healing for 10% more. It's not a huge deal, but it does add up for a little bit more healing, and I just don't really have, you know, I could get the bonus damage, because I actually did make this build before I started using the phylactery, so that's something that I could use, which actually I think I will use. If you use the phylactery, I'll also tell you about the other build that I use, but if you use the phylactery, this or the damage resistance one, there's one that gives you 10% damage resistance. That would be a good talent to use. And you could stay near your phylactery, use it as a taunt, and then get more damage or damage resistance. And then I also get the ultimate charge and in increase of ultimate rate. One thing to note about doing this is what you can do is if you have your ultimate already, before you select the talent, once you get to level 3, use your ultimate and then use the talent. Then you'll get automatically get another ultimate. And it's a 25% increase as well, so that's huge. You'll be getting your ultimate back faster. And then the last one is one you can get from the store. I don't know if it drops or not, but it makes Reap no longer consume the stacks, like I was talking about during the match. As for gems, I use the health gem just to get more health. Then I use ultimate accrual rate, blue gem, 7.5%, 15.25% ultimate accrual rate, red gem, and then just the cooldowns, which works for all spells, including your ultimate. So it's another way to get your Haunting Wraith cooldown back. Also, so to make that one better. Now I'm actually using the other build I was using was Grasp of Death instead of Phylactery, which was kind of nice to get the little extra damage and to slow people down. But I personally like this Phylactery better, especially when you get the right talents to give you either bonus damage or damage resistance. Now in terms of prismatic gems, because I don't have that, there are two of them that I would recommend with this specific build. It's one for Haunting Race and one for Phylactery, which I'll show in the shop real quick. The one for Haunting Race, it makes the damage higher, but it has more cooldown. This is this isn't bad because you can get your cooldown to be lower based on number of enemies hit, and so you can get a little bit of extra damage. But if you do want the shield to be a little bit better, or not better, but if you want to use the shield a little bit more often, then you don't need this, but it's a little bit of extra damage. And then the phylactery duration. Now this makes it so that phylactery has a 60-second duration instead of permanent, but it reduces the cooldown by 20%. Here's the thing though, which I'm actually going to buy right now. There's usually not any time where you're going to want your phylactery down for more than 60 seconds because you're probably going to be getting attacked and you're going to want to get rid of your phylactery. I manually get rid of my phylactery frequently. So since you're not going to have it more than 60 seconds anyway, all this is really doing is letting you use it more. You're going to have to get rid of it. That way you'll be able to place it again quicker. So this is really the only one that's specifically good with no real downside. And the dark class in general just doesn't really have that many decent gems. At least not for this build. Again, if you're using Grasp of Death, then that's pretty decent. Um, Soul Duration, I did get that at first because it was nice, but also with the pretty much with the ability, it lasts long anyway, and with the weapon talent that makes it so that they're not consumed, it's just not useful at all. All it does is it makes it longer for you to use, so like it's a longer cooldown. And then yeah, that's all of the prismatic gems. So the only one that's really needed is the phylactery duration one, and it's again not needed, but it makes it better. And haunting race if you want a little bit extra damage for a slightly longer cooldown. But that's everything for the Reaper guide for my tanky build. If you liked the video, then please like and subscribe, and check out my channel for more breach videos and more to come. As always, thanks for watching.